The episode starts with Team Venom lingering in their bedroom, waking up. Nora suddenly leaps from the top bunk and lands heavily in the middle of the room. Guys, I need help! You can say that again. Use the ladder, you weirdo, you'll snap an ankle. The dance is so soon, and I want to be so pretty looking for Emerald. Nora, you're already pretty. But I don't want to look like a bandit. I want to look like, I don't know, a fairy magical princess of dreams. It's too friggin' early for this. Well, you all need new outfits too. Like, what, you gonna go wearing that same old thing? You think I'm going to this dance crap? You have to! We all have to. It's team building. Come on, Vernal, you're the leader. Tell them they have to come. I do not recognize Vernal as leader. Just want to clarify that. Don't worry, Nora. I'll make sure the grumpy dumpies go to the dance with us, and we can go shopping and get you a princess dream whatever outfit you want. Nora squeals happily and crushes Vernal in a big hug. Yang stands up and pouts. Well, at least let me pick my own outfit. I'm not gonna be a princess, but I'm still going to be turning heads. Because you'll be punching people so hard? Yang hurls a pillow at Mercury. We cut to Weiss, staring at the unknown text she had gotten before. Don't believe Ozpin's lies. Relics. She was sitting in her bed while the others got ready for the day. Ilia does a little dance to herself. Finally, the weekend! We can relax a little bit! She notices Weiss and cocks her head to the side. What you looking at? Well, I got these weird messages while we were out with the twins. After the whole chasing down a mech thing, I had almost forgotten about them. The other three members huddle around Weiss and read the texts. Relics? What does that even mean? Maybe it's a prank? I don't know. Mentioning Ozpin feels too specific. Maybe you should text them back. She shrugs. Can't hurt. They already have your number after all. Weiss pouts, thinking for a second, then types quickly. Who are you? They stare at her scroll for a second, then suddenly 3 dots pop up. Someone was typing back. They huddle closer and wait until the new message dings. There's more the maidens are meant to do. The girls gasp and Weiss throws her scroll onto her bed as if she was afraid of it. Maidens! I thought we were the only ones who knew about that. I want to know who this person is. What do we do now? Penny holds up her hands to hush her teammates. She quickly picks up Weiss's scroll again and types quickly. They huddle back around together to read Penny's message. Explain. What more? There's a pause. Then it responds again with relics. Penny types, what are relics? They wait and wait. No response. Penny sighs and hands Weiss her scroll back. I don't like this. It feels weird. Man, everything's been weird. The bomb at our dorm, a random paladin rampaging through the streets. What is going on? You know, I've been thinking about that. Okay, I'm going to sound dumb and paranoid, but I'm not judging her just because she's a faunus or anything. Jeez, princess, is this about Blake? Well, think about it. The twins said Blake and Sun were gone doing some faunus-related thing, and then the next thing we see is the two of them running down the streets chasing a paladin. Penny starts to type something on her scroll. Ilia rolls her eyes. Ah, come on, Weiss. They probably were just in the area. Yeah, but then there was a faunus piloting the mech. Don't you think it's weird how they didn't want to stay back when the police were coming? I'm sorry. I think they might be in the White Fang. And Team Orange? Last I checked, none of them were faunus. And that one girl, Summer Rose's kid, she saved me. If I was the target, why bother pulling me out of the blast zone? But that other girl, Neo, she was with Blake and Sun from the start. She was chasing down the paladin with them, but the others in her team weren't there until after it fell off the road. Neo is in Team Orange with Ruby Rose. She's not a faunus, though. The tipsy cow. Penny speaks up, turning her scroll to show the screen to the other girls. It's a news feed detailing the events from the Paladin Rampage. It's titled, Atlas Students Becoming the Heroes of Vale. That's where the Paladin came from, a bar called the Tipsy Cow. What does a bar need a mech for? There's a lot of reports saying this place is a hub for White Fang rallies. The 4 girls all share uncertain looks, pondering over the information they've laid out. Cinder throws her hands in the air and shakes her head. So what now? How do we get to the bottom of all of this? Well, the twins did want to keep in touch. Maybe we can try to get some information from them. Weiss snaps her fingers as she thinks of something. And we can try to talk to Team Orange too. Not only about the Paladin, but also Oscar is like Ozpin's apprentice, right? I didn't think he knew anything about maidens, but maybe he is in the know. Maybe he's the one texting you. The four nod in agreement, their new plan of action figured out. We transition over to Vernal, staring at her own scroll, revealing she was the one texting Weiss. She smirks and pockets her scroll, turning to Mercury, who's the only one left in their dorm room. You can't just lay in bed all day. Yang and Nora already left for breakfast. It's gonna be hilarious watching Yang try to let her hair down. You don't want to miss that, do you? It's loud out there. It makes me get stuck in my own head. She crouches next to his bed and places a hand on his shoulder. His back is facing her. I can tell it's been hard for you here, but keeping yourself cooped up won't help. Please just come get breakfast. Eat something, okay? There's a long silence. Then finally he groans and turns around to face her. Can't you just use your semblance to take me there? Vernal smiles and pats his head. Nope. Come on, get up, get dressed, move your body a little, it'll help you feel better. He groans loudly and throws the blanket off of him dramatically. We cut over to Jean, sitting by himself in his dorm room. He has a notebook in his lap. Nervously, he slowly writes something. Mr. Jean Arc. He stares at the words for a moment, then crosses it out. He thinks for a second, then writes again. Mrs. Jean Arc. Again he stares at the words, then crosses it out again. He sighs and turns to look out the window, watching the large, fluffy clouds slowly drift past. There's a light knock on the door and he jumps a little, flipping his notebook page to cover up his crossed-out words. Come in! The door creaks open and Sun pops his head in. Hey man, you ready to go shopping for prom? Yeah. Jean stands up and Sun beckons him closer. The girls are already downstairs. The two meet up with Neo and Milsha, sitting on the front steps of the school. Neo is playing Battle Monsters, and Milsha watches over her shoulder. I was always garbage at Battle Monsters. I can't believe you actually made Hampkin work on your team. She turns and smiles as Sun and Jean approach. There's our boys. Jean grimaces a little and scratches the back of his head. No Melanie? Nah, she and Blake are gonna go out later with members of Team Posey. She stands up and points a finger dramatically to the sky. Let's go shopping! We cut over to Ruby and Oscar, walking down the halls of the school. Oscar is holding up his scroll and sharing a video with Ruby. New Battle Monsters version Q and version G, hitting store shelves in the month of ice. The video ends with a large dinosaur bird monster roaring. Ruby shakes her head. I can't believe it's already a new generation. Gen 17 is going to be hard to beat. And did you see that new gimmick? Magical pants? A game changer, oh my goodness. Oh my gods, yes. They stop in their tracks as they notice Mercury and Vernal. Ruby takes note of Mercury's solemn expression. She grimaces to herself, watching as they enter the dining hall. The two meet up with Yang and Nora, who seem to be excitedly talking with each other. What are you thinking about? I'm gonna try to talk to them again. You don't have to, you know. But she's my sister, and I'm really starting to get worried about Mercury. I'm gonna try. As she jogs after them, Oscar suddenly hears his name being called. He turns around and spots Penny and Weiss. The two are waving wildly to get his attention. He groans a little and goes to meet with them. Oscar, how have you been? Hi, I'm fine. Did you want to talk to Ozpin again? Because I really don't know what his schedule looks like. No, silly goose. We actually wanted to talk to you. Oscar looks back and forth between the two girls nervously. What about? Penny and Weiss look around, making sure no one else is in earshot. Well, how much do you know about Ozpin's secrets? Like, does the word maiden mean something to you? Oscar's eyes squint and Penny's eyebrows raise. That reaction implies you know something. What's all this about? We're just a little worried maybe Ozpin didn't tell us the whole truth about everything the maidens are about. Weiss grimaces at her own uncertain wording. Oscar tries to look away uncomfortably, nervous about what he should do. Penny notices their uncertainty and steps forward. What are relics? What? What? How do you know about that? Did you text Weiss? What? Penny, shut up! Weiss pulls Penny back and pushes her aside. Someone texted you about relics? So you do know something. What are they? I don't know. Come on, spill the beans. There's no point in lying to us now. I really don't know. They're just magic. They do magic things. The maidens just have magic, and I shouldn't even be talking about this. Why didn't Ozpin tell us about them? They're supposed to be a secret. No one's supposed to know about them. Well, you do, though. That's not fair. What kind of magic? I don't know. But, like, what does magic look like? Like, maybe we could figure it out with context clues. No, we shouldn't be talking about this. Does magic even have a visual look to it? Wouldn't it just look like a semblance? I mean, some magic has a specific style. Like what? Oh, like the maiden's eyes glow. Like how Vernal's eyes glowed? Oscar and Weiss both gasp in unison at their words and slap their hands over their mouths. They stare at each other as they both start to realize they've said something they probably shouldn't have. Penny looks back and forth between them. So, is this still a no on telling us more about relics? I gotta go. Oscar turns and starts sprinting down the hallway. Weiss turns to Penny and grabs her hands, shaking them around excitedly. Penny, did you catch what he said there? He said a lot. Which part are you talking about? I think Vernal is a maiden. Ruby walks sheepishly up to the table Team Venom sat at. Mercury and Vernal had joined the other two by this point. She hears a bit of their conversation as she approaches. Mercury, you have to come to the dance with us. If Yang is going, that means you all have to go too. A party might help you out a bit, get you in a better mood. My mood isn't the problem. It's all these stupid people, all the stupid noise. Yang's smile fades as Ruby steps up to her. The four of them all turn and stare at Ruby, who twirls her fingers nervously. What? Are you all okay? None of them answer her. They just stare at her, slowly eating their food. Ruby fidgets nervously and gestures to the group. You know, are you getting along well here at Beacon? Going to classes? Her eyes turn to Mercury specifically. He looks away. Yang scoffs. Why do you care? I wanted to, spit it out. Leave it to Summer Rose to raise a meek little mumbler. Hey, I'm mad at Summer, too. Yang's eyes squint in confusion as she takes in what Ruby said. She looks Ruby up and down and frowns. Really? Yes, I'm mad. She lied to me about something. She didn't tell me something that I think she should have. Ruby's eyes turn to the ground and her shoulders slump. I thought she trusted me, but I guess not. Yang leans in closer and Ruby looks her in the eye as she speaks. Summer and our worthless little toad of a father abandoned my mother and me when I was just a baby. They left us to fend for ourselves because we didn't fit into your parents' idea of a happy little family. Yang leans in closer and snarls at Ruby. Sorry your mommy hurt your feelings, but don't even think it compares to what she's done to me. Ruby stiffens, blinking back frustrated tears. That's not true. What? They didn't abandon you. Raven abandoned them. How dare? Before Yang can finish her sentence, another voice cuts in above them. Oh, thank goodness, you two are talking. Ruby groans and her shoulders slump. Yang balls her hands into fists, and Summer Rose comes trotting over to them from across the cafeteria. Oh, this reminds me so much of when I used to get breakfast with Raven when we were on a team together. Is it alright if I join you two? I'd love it if we could all catch up together. Ugh, Mom! Before Ruby finishes her sentence, Yang has already stormed off, exiting the cafeteria. Ruby growls in frustration and shoots Summer a cold look. Thanks a lot. Ruby walks off too, but Summer follows after her. Wait, what went wrong? Was it something I said? Can you just... I don't want to talk to you right now. Ruby, honey, you've been awfully distant with me lately. Is something bothering you? Ruby grimaces and rubs her eyes, conflicted on if she should say anything in response. Is it Yang? Is that what's wrong? You know, whenever Raven was in a bad mood, something that always cheered me up wasn't words, but just a hug. Sometimes, when you don't know what to say, a big hug can help you get your message across. Before Ruby could say anything, Oscar came sprinting up to her. He grabs her arm and pulls her away. Sorry to interrupt, we gotta go. Summer watches as the two run off, sighing sadly to herself. Oscar drags Ruby away, turning into the library and slowing down once they're in a small corner. The two talk in a low whisper with each other. Oscar, what's wrong? Team Posey know about the relics. What? But how? Oscar shakes his head. I don't know. It's just like Ozpin thought. Someone is leaking information. But that's not the important part. Weiss let slip that she saw Vernal's eyes glowing. She probably saw this when they fought in Ozpin's office. So, what does that mean? Maidens' eyes glow when they use magic. Ruby's eyes widen and she thinks for a second. So, that means Team Venom know about maidens. That's why they broke into Ozpin's office. They're either trying to get the Fall Maiden's powers, or what if they also know about the relics? Ruby and Oscar share nervous looks as it all sinks in. We cut over to Milsha, Sun, Jean, and Neo in a clothing boutique. Milsha has a sleeveless, frilly dress on and is looking at her reflection with 3 mirrors angled in front of her. Neo claps happily as Milsha strikes a pose. A pile of different dresses and skirts sit next to her on the couch. Sun walks up holding a bag and a receipt, having already purchased his outfit. Jean sits near Neo and looks around at all the clothes. The dresses, the tuxedos, the skirts, the shirts. He takes it all in. I'm not sure if this is the one I want, but it's definitely a contender. She points to the pile by Neo's side. Babes, you're gonna have to start narrowing down your choices too. Neo sticks her tongue out and pulls her pile closer to her. Milsha notices Jean and claps in realization. Right, Jean baby, I got these vibes that you were a bit at a loss yourself when it came to an outfit. Don't worry, I think I found something you can try on. Jean stands up, clearly a little nervous. Sun smiles and holds up his bag. I'm all set. I'm ready to dance, dance, dance. He starts to dance a little. Neo gets up and joins him in their own little mini dance party. Jean watches them for a moment, then grunts as Milsha pushes a white tuxedo into his hands. Jean looks down at the frills and buttons adorning it. White is a bit of a risky color, but it would look fantastic with your hair. Come on, get ready so we can check you out in the mirror. Milsha walks past him towards the mirrors to check herself out again, then stops when she sees him standing still in the reflections. She turns back around to face him. Jean is stock still, holding the tuxedo. His shoulders slouch sadly. Neo and Sun stop their dancing as they also notice his body language. Milsha glances at them, then walks slowly back next to Jean. Jean, is everything okay? Jean's quiet for a moment. His mouth is open and he struggles to find his words. Finally, he sighs heavily. It feels silly. I don't know, maybe it's not. We're like doing all this big important stuff, like maidens and paladins. I don't know. I feel selfish, worrying about this thing with all that other stuff going on. Milsha places a hand on his shoulder. Honey, it's okay. Our lives can't always be a roller coaster. Small things are just as important as those big things. Jean sighs and smooths out some of the frills on the tuxedo he holds. Milsha cocks her head to the side. Or maybe it's not a small thing to you. Jean trembles a little bit, closing his eyes and breathing slowly. Finally, he turns and meets Milsha's eyes. I don't think man feels like who I am. Milsha is quiet for a moment, then nods slightly. Neo and Sun share a glance and slowly approach Jean's other side. So, do you think woman feels more like who you are? Jean grimaces. No, I don't know. I think maybe neither? Jean shakes their head, uncertain of what to say, unable to describe their feelings. Jean jumps a little as Neo wraps her arms around their stomach in a hug. She smiles up at them, and they smile back. Hey, why didn't you say something sooner? He places a hand on Jean's shoulder. You didn't think we wouldn't support you, right? No, it wasn't that. Maybe I was just scared to really admit it to myself. I wanna wear a dress. I see all these pretty gowns and they feel right. They feel like something I want to see myself wearing. But I've never done this before. Milsha links her arm into Jean's, the 4 of them all together. Well, we can help you figure it out. Jean smiles, a few tears of joy in their eyes that they quickly wipe away. Where do you want to start? Well, I think you're right about white. It would look really nice with my hair. We cut to Blake and Melanie. They're sitting in a coffee shop. Melanie leans forward, resting her head in her hands. So, you excited for our date? Blake blushes but tries to hide it behind her cup of tea. Melanie giggles. Well, are you at least excited to go shop with Cinder and Ilia? They seem nice. They handled themselves well against the Paladin. Too bad they're on a team with the Schnee, though. Ah, don't be like that. She can't choose who she's born to. Yeah, she seems uptight, but she also seems to really care about her teammates, including Ilia, the Faunus. Blake's ears twitch and she hums thoughtfully. Melanie perks up, noticing Cinder and Ilia entering the building. She waves them over and the girls all sit together. Thanks for inviting us. The more the merrier. It's especially nice seeing you again, Blake. Blake's ears twitch at her name. She looks up, startled to be addressed. Really? Yeah, Melanie said you couldn't go to dinner last time because of a Faunus thing? Blake glances over to Melanie, who glances back. What was it you were up to exactly? I'd love to connect with Faunus students more. Oh, well, it wasn't really anything special. It was mostly studying for Ubleck's history class. Ilia and Cinder share a look with each other. Melanie claps her hands together. Well, unless you two want to grab something to drink, I'm ready to go shopping. The girls gather their belongings and we cut to them in a department store. We see each girl looking at various clothes as they shop. Blake and Melanie start looking at matching corsages. While they do, Ilia and Cinder meet up and start to whisper. If Blake and Sun were studying, how did they stumble into a paladin in downtown Vale? There's not a lot of study spots between the noodle shop and the Tipsy Cow. The two share suspicious looks, then continue to flip through clothes. The four make their way over to the changing booths. They're designed like little stalls. Ilia waits for Blake to get into one, then she gets into the one next to hers. Ilia sighs heavily and plops her clothes onto the little bench in the changing booth. She looks over. She can see Blake's boots in the booth over. Ilia waits and watches as Blake places her belt on the ground next to her shoes. Then she places her scroll down next to that. Ilia stares at the scroll on the ground and looks around, thinking. She slowly starts to kneel, keeping her eyes trained on Blake's belongings. She can see Blake's feet as she moves around her booth. Ilia bites her lower lip, thinking, when suddenly Melanie's voice calls out from the hall. Blake, come here, I want to see how we look together. Ilia watches as Blake moves, then listens as Blake exits her booth. I'm coming. I'm gonna take a picture. I want Milsha to see this dress. Ilia quickly snatches up Blake's scroll. The lock screen doesn't register her face. Ilia changes her colors to match Blake's hair, eyes, and skin tone. The screen unlocks, and Ilia quickly opens Blake's texts and she scans through the newest messages in the thread, until she notices one from an unnamed contact. It looks like an address. So, Blake, what do you think about this dress? I think I want to try on another one. I'm not sold yet. Ilia taps the text chain to see the message. It's directions to the Tipsy Cow. She gasps a little, then scans the text above it. Faunus only. And the schematics of a paladin mech are paired with the message. Ilia's colors all turn pale as she reads these texts. She hears Blake approaching her changing booth, and Ilia exits the text chain and slides the scroll back where she found it. She watches Blake's feet as she re-enters the booth and starts changing, seemingly oblivious that anything had happened with her scroll. Ilia takes a deep breath, and her colors go back to normal. She grabs her own scroll and starts typing. Melanie's voice calls out. Hey, Ilia, are you okay in there? Yeah, I'm just, struggling with one of them. I guess I got the wrong size or something. As Ilia says this, she types out a message to Cinder. We cut over to Cinder next to Melanie, checking themselves out in mirrors. Cinder feels her scroll vibrate and she checks the message. They know about paladins. They were at the Tipsy Cow, White Fang. Cinder quickly turns off her scroll when she's read the text, giving Melanie a sidelong glance to make sure she hadn't seen anything from it. Melanie smiles at her, and Cinder gives her a wry smile back. We cut to Ilia and Cinder running down the dorm halls as the sun now sets outside. They burst into their room. Penny and Weiss were already there. Weiss spins and flails her arms as they enter. Thank goodness, this is crazy! We got crazy stuff too. At the same time, they all yell. Vernal is a maiden! They're White Fang! The four girls blink at each other, all shocked by the revelations their teammates had made. And then all together, they just start to scream. Huge shout out to the fan art. Thank you so much, as always. It's always so appreciated, and your guys are so cool and creative, and I appreciate you. Look at how talented you all are. I cannot express how much I just love this every single time. But shout out to my $10 patrons. You're all amazing. Andrew, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, Classy Critic, Genital War Thunder, Jake, Amber, Scaring Crows, Messiah, Jacob, Ben's Sketchbook, Rain, Lucian, Wild Pilot, Juan, Bunkin Duncan, Hoodie Angel, Ranger, C1 Trooper, Sean, Ruby Rune, Lavaros, Plague, Tyrene, Thanos, Pandemonium, Peter, Agiri, Eden, Silverheart Soul, Doki Pokey, Zappy, Wolfgang, Philip, Mac and Cheese, Lalaroni, Davey, MD, Nerf Ned, and Video Gamer. So yeah, big revelations happened in this one. I love this one. I am so excited because next is prom. It's gonna be, you guys aren't ready. You guys aren't ready. It's so exciting. I can't wait. Let me know what you think about this episode, the exploration of the characters, moving forward with plot stuff and character stuff. Any thoughts and expectations for the prom episode next time? I can't wait. I hope you had fun. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.